Well, hello and welcome to Sunrise Community Church's Christmas Eve or Christmas Day celebration whenever you're viewing this. We really hope that you can use this as a tool of just remembering the best gift that we were given, which is Jesus Christ coming down from heaven and being born a child to Mary and Joseph. And so this time we want to just celebrate that. We want to remember that. And really it's remembering our story, our heritage that we were given as we are adopted into God's family, into His kingdom. And so we hope that you can take this time to worship with us, to listen to a word from Pastor Russ, and also maybe share a few laughs as we watch this video that's about to come up. So I hope you enjoy, and Merry Christmas.
Thought you said we lost him.
I found you all! Woo! Thank goodness for that star. If it weren't for that star, I wouldn't have found you guys. Woo!
Pretty convenient that now you can read the stars.
Oh no, just that big super bright one. I mean, it's like, blam! But I'm still gonna need directions home. Can someone write that down for me?
We don't have time for this. We're going to see the Messiah.
Look at us, the four wise men. We're inseparable.
More like insufferable.
Speaking of suffering, my feet can't take much more walking. It's been 3 years. We should have been home by now.
You guys can blame me all day for losing those camels, but you all knew going into this that my double hitch knot needed a little work.
Why don't we proceed in silence, reverent silence, in honor of the Messiah?
Totally cool with that.
Good.
So, I was thinking about my gift. I mean, what baby needs white jade anyway, right?
We've been over this 1,000 times. White jade represents his purity and goodness. The gold represents his royalty. The burning of frankincense reminds us that the aura of God is around us at all times, and the myrrh is to anoint him as King of Kings.
Right. Just listen. I think I found a better gift. A gift that'll make everyone forget that I lost the white jade.
You what?
I mean, I think a gift that makes the white jade just look like nothing. A gift that's better than the white jade that I replaced.
You replaced with what?
The greatest gift of all. Oh yeah. Wait for it. Blam! Hummus!
You must be kidding.
Do you mean you must be kidding? Because I'm not kidding at all. Hummus is delicious, okay? And it's very symbolic. People unite together when they see hummus. Much like a savior. Okay. This is my bad. This is on me. You guys go see the Messiah. I'll just stay here.
I think that would be best. But at least you have a snack.
Yeah. I just thought it just doesn't matter what we bring this little king. He doesn't need any of our gifts. I mean, you know, he's a savior. I mean, he's a gift to us. Maybe I was hoping he's bigger than all my mistakes. Yeah, I guess that's what I was hoping. All right, I'll see you guys later. Why are you doing that?
Because I hope he's that kind of a savior too. Let's go. I wish someone had some pita bread.
Blam!
Light of the world, treasure of heaven, joy of the Father reach through the darkness, shine across the earth, send the shadows to fly. Light of the world, from the beginning, the tragedies of time were no match for your love. From great heights of glory, you saw my story. God, you entered in and became one of us. You have come to save us. You have come to save us. You have come to save us, Lord. You have made a way here. You have made the way clear. You have come to save us, Lord. Jesus, you're the one who saves us. You're the one who saves us. King of all the other kings on earth. Jesus, you're the one who saves us. You're the one who saves us. King of all the other kings on earth.
Navidad, hoy es Navidad, es el día de alegría.
My name is Claudia, and I've been at Sunrise for about 5 or 6 years now, and David and Danny are my sons.
Mi nombre es Jimmy Aguilera
Rosy Díaz.
y llevamos unos 5 años, 4 años de participar en la comunidad de Sunrise.
Mi nombre es María Larrea. De venir a la iglesia tengo más de 5 años.
Mi nombre es Ana Rosa Martínez y yo tengo de conocer a la iglesia Sunrise prácticamente desde que comenzó. Ahí hice una pausa, cambiamos de iglesia, pero nuevamente estoy aquí.
So my name is Salomon. We have 2 years coming here to Sunrise.
Mi nombre es Marlene.
My name's Kate.
Ahora, bueno, antes de la pandemia nos reuníamos la familia, solamente somos 2 hermanas y pues los hijos nuestros y con las esposas de los que ya están casados. Y es bonito porque ellos están casados con personas que no son hispanas, entonces hay de todo tipo de comida, hay una muchacha filipina, otra muchacha anglo, hay mexicanos ya añadidos también, entonces tenemos comida típica de las Filipinas, americana, tamales de Guatemala, tamales de El Salvador, porque pues nosotros somos de los países, entonces es una reunión muy bonita porque es la única vez que las 2 generaciones se juntan, los que somos emigrantes, los papás y los jóvenes que ya han nacido aquí.
Sí, en Colombia es muy folclórica, se comparte con la familia, se reúnen cada día se van reuniendo en una casa diferente y se van compartiendo alimentos y al final, el día 24, comparten regalos.
Nosotros como familia pues, nos reunimos generalmente el 24 por la noche, nos reunimos, celebramos juntos la cena de Navidad.
La celebramos con mucha comida tradicional colombiana, los buñuelos, hacer tamales.
So celebrating Christmas as a Christian for me, it's celebrating the beginning of who Jesus is, of the gospel, what he came to earth for. It's celebrating the start of it all, and just being with family, being grateful for that gift that he gave to us.
Ahora, para mí celebrar una Navidad en Cristo es totalmente diferente a como celebraba la Navidad o el tiempo de Navidad antes de conocer a Cristo. Después de ese encuentro, para mí es un renacer, es el regalo precioso que nos dio en nuestro Dios, enviando a su Hijo para nuestra salvación, es ese poder lograr entender ese amor tan grande que nos dio Dios al enviar a su Hijo. Nosotros, después de conocer de Cristo, siempre estamos agradeciendo por ese amor que nos da, por esa celebración, que la misma palabra lo dice, ¿no? Natividad, el nacimiento de nuestro Salvador.
Cuando yo fui niña también tuve oportunidad de festejar muchas Navidades con mi familia y era tan divertido, eran muchos primos, era mucha comida, muchos juguetes, pero a diferencia de ahora, ahora nuestro enfoque, nuestro tema principal es el agradecimiento, el regalo inmerecido que tenemos de nuestro Señor, y eso hace una grande diferencia. La otra era divertido, mucha comida, fiesta, música, pero ahora la música viene desde adentro y eso hace una diferencia grande.
I know that Christmas is about celebrating the birth of our Savior, Jesus, and to honor that, that's why we have Christmas.
Gozosos, triunfantes Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round young virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Yes, the world will bow down and say you are God. Every man will bow down and say you are King. So let's start right now. Why would we wait? King of glory, fill this place. We just want to be with you. We just want to be with you. King of glory, fill this place. We just want to be with you. We just want to be with you. Yes, the world will bow down and say you are God. Every man will bow down and say you are King. So let's start right now. Why would we wait? We can praise you now in victory. King of glory, fill this place. We just want to be with you.
Good evening. It's such a privilege to be with you this evening through technology, to come into your home and to share a few moments with you. Es un placer estar con ustedes esta tarde de esta forma para compartir un poco. And so I want to just share a few reflections from God's Word this evening. We're going to be looking at Matthew chapter 1, beginning in verse 18. I will be reading some of those verses in just a moment. Vamos a comenzar con una lectura del Mateo 1, versículo 18 en unos minutos. But before I get there, I want to ask you a question. And the question is, have you ever received a gift, whether that's a Christmas gift or a birthday gift or something else that was disappointing or wasn't quite what you had in mind? ¿Jamás has recibido un regalo, sea de Navidad o para el cumpleaños, que no era lo que esperabas? I mean, you got it and you said, well, this isn't me, or this isn't what I was looking for. One gift comes to mind. I'm pretty easy to please, so I don't have a lot of complaints. No tengo muchas quejas, pero un regalo sí me viene a la mente. And I don't remember if it was a birthday or Christmas, but somebody gave to me lottery tickets. Alguien me dio boletos de la lotería. Now, in the first place, I don't play the lottery. Okay, that's not my thing. No, a mí no me gusta jugar la lotería. But the other thing is, I mean, what do you make of that? I mean, is that a gift or is it not? I mean, my first reaction was, I'm not going to win. This is junk. I'm going to throw this in the trash. No voy a ganar. As it turned out, I didn't win the lottery. No gané la lotería. So what did I have? Nothing. Disappointing, for me at least. Fue una desilusión para mí. Well, I want us to have that in mind as we read here about the birth of Jesus, and specifically this person, Joseph. Quiero que tengan eso en mente con José. I want to read from Matthew chapter 1, verses 18 and 19. It says, "This is how the birth of Jesus Christ came about. His mother, Mary, was pledged to be married to Joseph. But before they came together, she was found to be with child through the Holy Spirit. Because Joseph, her husband, was a righteous man and did not want to expose her to public disgrace, he had in mind to divorce her quietly. El nacimiento de Jesús Cristo fue así. Su madre María estaba comprometida para casarse con José, pero antes de unirse a él, resultó que estaba encinta por obra del Espíritu Santo. Como José, su esposo, era un hombre justo y no quería exponerla a vergüenza pública, resolvió divorciarse de ella en secreto." So here's Joseph. He's on the eve of a great event in his life, to be married to the one woman that is the love of his life. José está a punto de casarse con su novia, una mujer que ama mucho. And in the midst of that, there comes this situation. Mary is pregnant. María está encinta. It's not what Joseph had in mind. Not at all. It's a great disappointment. It's heartbreak for him. Es una gran desilusión para José. No es lo que él tenía en mente. This wonderful gift of Mary is now in some ways in his mind maybe spoiled, maybe now not worth keeping, and yet it says he's an honorable man. He doesn't want to dishonor her. Él no quiere deshonrarla a ella. He has in mind to do what really seemed to be the only option, to divorce her quietly. But then it says in verse 20, after he had considered this, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream and said, "Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary home as your wife, because what is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son, and you are to give him the name Jesus, because he will save his people from their sin." Pero cuando él estaba considerando hacerlo, se le apareció en sueños un ángel del Señor y le dijo, "José, hijo de David, no temas recibir a María por esposa, porque ella ha concebido por obra del Espíritu Santo. Dará a luz un hijo y le pondrás por nombre Jesús, porque él salvará a su pueblo de sus pecados." What's interesting here is that Joseph has a dream. José tiene un sueño. And if we look at Matthew, one of the things we see in Matthew is that this might be the first time, but it's not the last time that Joseph has a dream. In fact, Joseph has lots of dreams here in Matthew. José tiene muchos sueños en Mateo. And that's a lot like another Joseph. A Joseph way back at the beginning of the Bible, in the book of Genesis. Es como otro José in Genesis. He was one of the 12 sons of Jacob, of Israel, and he had dreams of greatness. José tenía sueños de ser grande. He was going to be over his brothers, over his father and mother. And if you go back to that story, you find out how he was sold by his brothers into slavery, into Egypt. Fue vendido de sus hermanos celosos a la esclavitud de Egipto. He was imprisoned unjustly. It wasn't what Joseph had in mind. Fue impreso injustamente. No era lo que él tenía en mente. But God worked through that terrible situation where Joseph's dreams apparently didn't come true in order to bring him to become the second in command over all of Egypt. Dios trabajó para traerle a ser el segundo de mandato en todo Egipto. And later on, after his brothers came to realize what had happened, after all of God's dreams through Joseph came true, his brothers were afraid. His brothers were afraid that he would take revenge on them. Sus hermanos tenían miedo de que iba a tomar venganza. But in Genesis chapter 50, verse 20, they came to him and said, you should be nice to us. But Joseph said this. He said, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Am I in the place of God? You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Es verdad que ustedes pensaron hacerme el mal, dijo a sus hermanos, pero Dios transformó ese mal en bien para lograr lo que hoy estamos viendo, salvar la vida de mucha gente. See, Joseph's brothers had in mind to hurt him, but God had in mind something bigger. And what was Joseph's dishonor became his great honor. And God used him to save many lives. Dios tenía en mente usar a José para salvar a muchas vidas. God has something bigger in mind than Joseph, the stepfather of Jesus, could understand. And that is that he was going to be a part of a plan where Mary would be given a son conceived of the Holy Spirit, and his name would be Jesus, the one who saves the people from sin. José del Nuevo Testamento iba a ser parte de un plan donde Dios daría a María un hijo y ella daría a luz un hijo, Jesús, que salvaría a su pueblo de sus pecados. In fact, in Matthew chapter 1, verses 22 and 23, it says this, all this took place to fulfill what the Lord had said through the prophet. The virgin will be with child and will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means God with us. Todo esto sucedió para que se cumpliera lo que el Señor había dicho por medio del profeta. La Virgen concebirá y dará a luz un hijo, y lo llamarán Emmanuel, que significa Dios con nosotros. You see, this was a gift that was greater than Joseph could ever imagine. He thought that he was being disappointed. He thought that this was not what he had in mind. José estaba desilusionado, pero este regalo era más grande de lo pensado. But God had in mind something bigger. God had in mind to accomplish the saving of many lives, even by using a man named Joseph, who, like the first Joseph, was disappointed. Dios lo usó como parte de su plan para salvar a muchas vidas. And in fact, again, as we've been seeing all through the Advent season, this was the fulfillment of a prediction that Jesus was to be the promised king. Así se cumplió una predicción sobre Jesús, el rey prometido, that a virgin would give birth to a child and he would be Emmanuel, God with us. La Virgen daría a luz un hijo que sería Emmanuel, Dios con nosotros. So, it's Christmas Eve. Es Nochebuena. Or maybe it's Christmas morning right now for you. Maybe you're watching this a little bit later. A lo mejor es la mañana de la Navidad. And I want to ask you, what do you have in mind? ¿Qué tienes tú en mente? Maybe it's a certain gift. Maybe it's that the next year you will reach a certain goal. Maybe it's a certain relationship that you have expectations for. A lo mejor es un regalo que tienes en mente, una relación, una meta para el año. There may be many dreams that you have, many hopes that you have at this Christmas. I want to challenge us all, including myself, to think about what God might have in mind, because God has something bigger. I want to go back to the prophet Isaiah and just read a verse there from Isaiah chapter 55. And this is what it says in verse 8, Isaías 55, versículo 8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways your ways, declares the Lord. Mis caminos y mis pensamientos no son más altos que los de ustedes, más altos que los cielos sobre la tierra. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. See, what God has in mind is way bigger than what we can ask or imagine, the Bible says. And Christmas, the coming of Christ, is a reminder to open us up to receive the gift of God's way. La Navidad nos invita a recibir el regalo de la manera de Dios. The greatest Christmas gift. Jesus may not be the gift that we expected, may not have even been the gift that we were looking for or hoping for. Jesús es el regalo que a lo mejor no esperábamos. But you see, this is the one gift we need. More than anything else, we need this gift of the one who would be Emmanuel, who is Emmanuel, God with us, who is the one to save us from ourselves. Ese es el regalo Dios con nosotros que nos salva de nosotros mismos. He saves us from our sins. And so the encouragement is simply to open up and say, Lord, what do you have in mind for me? What do you have in mind this Christmas? But also, what do you have in mind for my life? And then to look to Jesus. Hay que preguntarle al Señor, ¿qué tienes en mente para mi vida? Y después mirar a Jesús. He's the one. And God has a plan through Him to do immeasurably more than we could ask or imagine. And that's an encouragement I want to leave with you, with us this Christmas Eve. Dios quiere hacer muchísimo más de lo que podamos imaginarnos o pedir. Espero que esto les ayude en esta Nochebuena y en esta Navidad. God bless you and thank you for taking this time to reflect on God's Word with me. Gracias. Again, I'm so grateful that you could be with us for this special time together. Gracias por acompañarnos en este tiempo especial. Before we go, I want to remind you that this Sunday, the 26th, at 9:30 a.m., we have our Sunrise Community Church Christmas Worship Service. Tenemos nuestro servicio de Navidad el domingo 26 a las 9:30 de la mañana. Christmas is not over on the 26th. It's the second day of Christmas, believe it or not. And that means that it's a perfect time to gather with the family. Es el segundo día de la Navidad, así que los invitamos a todos. We hope you can be there and be a part of it. It will be, again, a powerful time of looking at Jesus as the promised King. Vamos a mirar a Jesús como Rey prometido. And now I want to simply close and leave you with a blessing this evening, praying that your celebration of Christ's birth is a wonderfully enriching time, a time that brings you closer to God and each other. Quiero dejarles con esta bendición, con la oración, que el Señor use este tiempo para atraerles a Él y unos a otros. It's from the book of Romans. It just simply says this: "Oh, the depth of the riches of the wisdom and knowledge of God. How unsearchable his judgments and his paths beyond tracing out. For from him and through him and for him are all things. To him be the glory forever. Qué profundas son las riquezas de la sabiduría y del conocimiento de Dios. Qué indescifrables sus juicios e impenetrables sus caminos. Porque todas las cosas proceden de Él y existen por Él y para Él. A Él sea la gloria para siempre. Amén. God bless you and have a very Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad a todos.